Hi, and welcome to week 2 of the challenge. Hope you are doing well with your workouts and your nutrition. We have a couple more workouts for you this week. So we'll start it off with 2A and then we'll go into 1A. Both of them will share the same warm-up. This is our inchworm. So if you have nice flexible hamstrings, this is what a proper inchworm will look like. You're going to hinge at the hips. Core stays nice and tight, back is tight, and she's going to set her hands down and start walking her hands forward until she goes into a full plank position and then walk the feet in to meet the hands. If you know that you are not that flexible, you're going to need to keep a bend in the knees and just walk as far forward as you can while maintaining a straight back. Very important to keep that straight back. So notice she'll come into a plank, but then she's only going to come in about halfway. And that would be your inchworm, and then you walk your hands out again. Back to your bridge. Thank you. So next we're going to go into our bridge. Lying all the way down on the back, you're going to walk your feet in, and they should be about shoulder distance apart. Plant the heels, core nice and tight. Squeeze the glutes and drive up into a bridge position, and then come back down. So this is just a basic bridge, and your goal is to feel this in your butt. So as you come up, you're pushing into your heels and squeeze your glutes. Sometimes it helps if you push your knees slightly outside. You'll notice that fire up some of those muscles in the outsides of the hips. And then go and come down. Next we have our squat, so she's going to stand up. Go into a basic squat, core nice and tight, so your heels are going to be planted about shoulder width apart. Coming down as low as you feel comfortable with a flat back, and then go ahead and stand. Squeeze the glutes on the way up. I find that intention plays a big role here, so if you're really thinking about squeezing your butt, you're going to work it a lot more than if you're not thinking about it. So we want to make sure that we're using our glutes when we stand up. So again, let's try one more squat. Core is nice and tight, abs are tight, make sure you don't just fold forward, and when you stand, you want to push your hips forward to get underneath it. Thank you. And then the last one is going to be a plank or handstand, depending on your level. We'll start with a basic plank. Nice and straight here. If you need to scale this down, you can always do it on your knees, otherwise on the toes. She's going to make sure that her lats are nice and fired up, so kind of rotating that elbow pit forward a little bit, and then lift up through that low belly. This should stay nice and strong. You would hold this for your count, or, thank you, there's your plank, or we're going to come on over to the wall for the handstand hold. If you have a wall at home or outside for a handstand, this is a fun skill to practice. I recommend that you do it facing the wall because that translates over to freestanding handstands a lot better than facing away from the wall, because our goal with the handstand is to maintain that hollow position tucked through here rather than arching back. So you're going to plant your hands on the ground and walk your feet up the wall, coming in as close as you feel comfortable, so it might be far out if you have the strength and the flexibility. Point the toes at the top, bring your legs in together tight, and then walk your hands in a little closer to the wall. And pointer fingers are going to go straight forward. And then she's going to try to round out through here, hollow out through here, squeeze the butt tight, tummy tight. Try to get the thighs off the wall, so the only thing on the wall right now should be the toes. And if you were to see from the side, it's a nice hollow position. So you would be holding that for your time increment. If you need to break it up, you can always break it into like 5 or 10 second holds until you meet that time requirement. And that's it. This is workout 2A. So workout number 1 of week 2. And we're going to go through some of the different movements just really quick, just for a demo. You learned some of these last week, so we won't get that technical with them. And for the actual workout, you're going to be going up by 10 reps each exercise. So we'll start with 10, then 20, 30, 40, 50. But for the sake of time, we're just going to show you what a couple of the reps look like. So we'll start with a push-up. Remember, you can do these on your knees or your toes. If you you would do 10 push-ups. She's just gonna do 1. Then she's gonna come up for burpees. You would next do 20 burpees. So she's gonna plant her hands, jump back, come all the way down, all the way up. Next is gonna be either a handstand hold or plank hold. So if you're doing a plank hold, this is what it looks like for 30 seconds. Then alternating jackknife, lying on your back. Option to either reach for the toes, that's 1, that's 2, or you can always reach towards the ankles if you need to scale it down. And then crossbody mountain climbers is going to be our last one, so this is a new move. Plant your hands like you're doing a plank. You can either pull your knee in and kind of touch your toe and tap, give a little tap, feeling that in the obliques, or you can keep your knee and your foot lifted, exhale with each crunch, or you can come into like a little run if you do it. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4 for reps. You do 50 of those. So once you get through that, you're gonna rest 1 minute. Think of it like a sprint. Go hard for 1 minute. Sorry, go hard for the full round, then rest 1 minute, and that would be 1 round, and you're gonna do 4 rounds for time. If you feel like you want a little extra, you can always bump it up to 6.
Okay, I'm rolling.
All right, this is the second piece, some core conditioning. You're going to go through this 3 rounds. I'll break down the different movements. The first one is going to be a straight leg sit-up. So Lila's got the core strength to come all the way up and touch her toes, straight leg. If you need to scale this down a little bit, you can roll over slightly to the side, press onto the arm and come all the way up, reaching towards either your shins, your ankles, your toes, and then on the way back down, you can do the same thing. Arms are going to go up overhead. So those are your straight leg sit-ups. You're keeping your legs straight the whole time. Next we have our hollow rock or tuck rock. So we went over the hollow last time. We're going to come up into a hollow position. Arms and legs straight up to the sky. Lift the shoulders up. Squeeze the legs tight, tummy tight, butt tight. This is the hollow. When you add the rock, you want to start the movement from your core. So make sure that your midsection stays slightly rounded, and then she's going to add a little rock. So that would be 1, 2, like so. Make sure that everything stays super tight. So if I were to push her leg, her upper body just comes up with it. There's no discrepancy between your arms and legs. If you need to scale this down, you're just going to do a tuck version. So bend the knees, reach towards my hand. Keep everything really tight, and again, you're starting the movement from your core. Try to keep your knees in tight to your chest. Pull it in a little more, and that's going to be your tuck rock here. Good. And then we have our back extension with the reach out. Roll over on your stomach. Keep your legs together for today, knees tight, toes touching. She's going to lift her hands off the ground, come all the way up. Palms facing out, and then pull her elbows back in and lower all the way down. Good. Lift, extend, pull in, and down. So she has a pretty flexible back. You might not be able to come up so high, but think about keeping a nice neutral spine with your head. Pull back down and lower down. Those are going to be your back extensions. And then we have our wrist plank is next. She's going to come into a plank position. From this position, you're just going to slightly shift your weight forward. So it helps if you think about gripping the ground and then lift up through that low belly, come to the top of your feet and hold this. If you're not ready for this yet, you can always just shift back and just think of shifting forward in your plank and see if you can hold that. Perfect. Come on down. And then the last one is going to be bicycles. So just lying on your back. Most important thing here is to keep your low back on the floor. So if you don't have a lot of core strength, or you know you just have a large curve in your spine, go ahead and start with this knee in. You're going to start with your leg up to the sky more. So this will be more your bicycle. And then when you alternate and switch, you'll kick your other leg up to the sky. So keeping it up a little higher. Perfect. So those are our bicycles. and you'll see on our workout sheet, it tells you how many reps of each exercise, and you're gonna go through that 3 times.